Hello all. In this video, let us try to understand how to install the necessary software on your Windows 10 instance. So let us get started. So initially what we would be doing is we would be trying to install Windows Terminal, which will help us launch various terminals in a tabbed view. And then we will try to install Git in Windows, and then we will open Git bash there. Then we will be installing a missing package manager in Windows, which is chocolatey, and then using that we'll be installing necessary softwares required for our course. So let's get started. So I'm logging in into my Windows instance, which is a fresh installation. Okay. So in this newly installed Windows machine, which is a fresh installation, the first thing which I'll do is I'll try to install the terminal. So let me select on Windows Store and search for the softwares, and the software which I want to search for is Windows Terminal. Then I'll click on Get. So right now I don't want to sign in, but it is a better idea to sign in. So right now it has started installation. Yeah, it says Windows Terminal is installed. Now let me click on Launch. The advantage of Windows Terminal is it is very easy for you to launch multiple terminals. As all of us know, in Windows we have two default terminals. One is PowerShell, the other one is Command Prompt. You can easily launch any number of them inside this, and it comes with its own tabbed interface, which is easier to use. Okay. Now let me install one more terminal which comes in handy generally whenever you are using uh, Linux instances. There is a Linux bash kind of terminal, which is git bash. So let me go to any search engine of your choice. So I prefer Google, and then let me search for Git for Windows. Now let me download this. So once I finish downloading, let me click on open the installer. Yeah, so the installer is open. Now I click on next. I'm okay with default path, but this is the thing which I want to add. I want to add git bash profile to the Windows terminal. So now I click on next, click on get. Rest of the things, it is better to leave them at default and complete your installation. Let us wait for the installation to be completed. I don't want to view the release notes. Let me click on finish. Now let me basically search for terminal. Since I'll be using this frequently, I'll try to right click and pin it to the taskbar so that I can view it over here. And generally, since we do administrative activities, you can hold the shift key and then right click over here and then run it as administrator. Now over here, if you see, you will be seeing git bash. So now I can launch different terminals also of git bash. That's where your terminal becomes handy. And then if you want to zoom in, you can press the control key and then you can scroll in and scroll out to resize your text according to your convenience and all of that stuff. In addition to that, if you want to do any settings of your choice, you can basically click on settings. They will try to tell you the basic aspects. If you want to change any of the color schemes, okay, if you want to change any of the stuff, you can basically do that, but I'll stick it to default. Yeah. Now since we have finished installing terminal, now let us try to install missing package manager in Windows, which is Chocolatey. This Chocolatey will help us in installing softwares. So again, I'll navigate to my favorite search engine, which is Google, and then Chocolatey install. So you need to ensure that your PowerShell is launched with administrator mode, and generally execute this command, which is get execution policy. Now right now it is unrestricted in this machine, so it's fine. In your case, if you want, you can set the execution policy to unrestricted if you are using your personal laptops. If you're using your office laptops, consult your admin in your organization. There are different execution policies that are available. So let us try to install Chocolate. If you scroll down over here, you would be basically seeing this. So let me copy this stuff, paste it over here, and then click on enter. So Chocolate should be installed once this installation is complete. Good. Now, if I try to execute Choco hyphen version, so I'm seeing that the Chocolate with version 1.2.0 is installed. Now, the other software which we need to do our development, let it be on cloud and DevOps aspects, is we need Visual Studio Code. So go to your favorite search engine and then Choco Visual Studio Code. If you basically search for it, you would find a page where you can accept, and then if you try to see, the command is Choco install VS Code. Copy this command, paste it over here. I recommend using -y because it would ask for confirmation if you don't do that. Now this command will install Visual Studio Code for you. Right. Now let us cross check. So if you see, Visual Studio Code is available in my system. Now let me launch Visual Studio Code, and then you can choose whatever theme which you want. I prefer dark theme. And one other setting which I want all of you guys to enable is just select this autosave option, so that whenever you're editing files, there is no need for you to save it every time. Okay. Now let me close this Visual Studio Code. We'll come back to Visual Studio Code and install necessary extensions. But first, let us install the necessary softwares. So the software which I want to install is Terraform first. So you can execute Choco search Terraform. This is one way of doing it. Or as we have done in the earlier case, you can go to your favorite browser and then search for it. So Choco Terraform. So whatever is your favorite way, you can use that. Let us wait for this page to be launched. I think there is some problem with this page. So let me use Ping Choco Terraform. Okay. So there seems to be some problem, but let me click on Choco Search Terraform. Even this is the command line way of searching your softwares. So Chocolatey will search in its definitions whether it has any software called as Terraform and any other packages with a name called as Terraform in it. It is taking more time than what it is supposed to. But if you try to look at it, the command is Choco install Terraform. The same thing has appeared over here, Terraform. So now I'll be installing Choco install Terraform hyphen y. Right. Now Terraform is installed. Let us cross check. Terraform hyphen hyphen version. So it says Terraform is basically available. Now let us launch Visual Studio Code. Since we have installed Terraform, let me click on this extensions. Okay, and then let me search for the extension which is called as Terraform, and let me install the Terraform extension from HashiCorp, which you are basically seeing over here, and I'll click on install. The other extension which I find useful is if you search for something called as icons. Sorry, missing over there. If you select this Visual Studio Code icons team, select this, then you would find necessary icons in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, now the next software which we wanted to install was Docker. So let me go over here. Yeah, you can search over here itself. If you select Docker, so there are lot of things over here. In Windows, the stuff which we have is Docker desktop. Okay, so but still, let us not go based on this stuff. Let me select over here Choco Docker desktop. So if you try to look into this, you can install the Docker desktop by basically downloading the software, and also as we have discussed earlier, by using Chocolatey. This page is taking little bit of more time than what it is expected to. Okay, let us switch to command line. Choco search Docker. So if you scroll, it basically tries to tell that you can go with Docker or you can go with Docker desktop. Okay, let us try to install Docker desktop. Choco install Docker hyphen desktop. So this software takes a little bit of more time because it has decent amount of installations to be done. So this is that page's link. As I said, this software would take a little bit of decent time. In the meantime, let us search for the next set of softwares. So we are supposed to install a couple of more softwares. One is kubectl, which is the command line tool for accessing Kubernetes clusters. And then we have CLIs of for cloud versions which you have. So for example, in this video, we'll be looking at how to install AWS and Azure CLI. So out of all of the installations which we do in this video, Docker is the one which takes time, and install Docker whenever it is necessary. So there is no need for you to basically run these softwares. Since you have used Chocolatey for installing the softwares, Choco install is a command to install it, uninstall is a command to delete it. Okay, so let us search for Visual Studio extensions, and in Visual Studio Code extensions you will find the extension of Docker from Microsoft, which you can install. Okay, now the Docker is installed. Okay, so let me relaunch my terminal. And then if you see, Docker is installed. Now let us install Azure CLI, which is a very simple command, choco search. And then in the similar way to install AWS CLI, the command would be choco install AWS CLI. So let me launch one more terminal, choco search AWS CLI. So if you see, this is the package. That's it. So right now the installation is failing because the other installation is in progress. Now let me do the same thing again. Right, sir. So that is what I have for this video. Thank you.